Welcome. Actually, that's the John Oliver thing that I just stole. That's fine. We're running with it. Hey, everybody on the interweb. Welcome to Meet the Heroes 2.0, which is after Season 4. And we have a guest host with us today. So we've got all the heroes. Yay! And our guest host of the day is Nari. So I'm actually going to hand it over to Nari. First, tell us a little bit about your show, where to find it, and then we will dive right into the questions.
Hey, guys. I'm Nari.
Hey,
I'm Nari. I host Into the Night. Into the Night Anthology. I keep forgetting I changed the name 2 years ago. But anyway, so yeah, it does. So... But, storytelling podcast, it's a great little bite-sized story thing if you haven't heard it. Doesn't take long to listen to. You can find me on Twitter at Into the Night Pod and all the podcatchers and, of course, posting under creative typos once in a while. So, yeah. Exciting. Big exciting news this year. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just hit Podchaser's recommended podcast of the month.
Yeah. So. I did. I was so excited about that. And to have my artwork actually in the promo image was just... Cloud. Adam pointed it out to me, and I was like, it's what? Where? And I went looking, I was like, oh my God.
It's so cool.
So, yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, and I did take a look at listens after that came out, and somebody went through and downloaded the entire show.
Hey.
On that day.
Awesome.
Nice.
So.
Boy, that noise sounds pretty good.
So that was fun.
Time.
Sorry.
No, yeah. Those are the creepy stalkers, Mike. Don't be one of those.
It's a little late for Mike.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm already a dirty old man.
All right.
Anyway.
So back to your guys' show. Let's talk about season 4. A lot has happened. I went back and re-listened to the whole thing about a week ago, and oh my God, so many things have happened. To go back to the beginning of the season is almost hard because there's been so much that's happened in the last 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, do any of you have any insight to where things are really starting to go? Starting from episode 1 of the season all the way to the end where we have seen death and time skips and all kinds of different things. I mean, what was it like to go through all that, and what have you come up with in terms of where you think this is heading for next season? Let's start with William.
Where I think things are heading for next season?
I was going to suggest starting with Nick.
No, because he won't give us any information. So we have to start with us, and then we can railroad him.
Very clever.
Yeah. All I know that's happening for next season is that I'm throwing a wrench in things because I'm evil and I want to. So it's going to be our last season, so I'm going to be a dickhead and have some fun. And I have a bit of a revenge track to go on. So I can't say a lot more because it's the whole point is to be surprising. But I have plans. Fun plans to bring back old friends.
Oh. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Got to say, I've thoroughly enjoyed your little Satyr army thing you've got going on.
Yes.
That's been a lot of fun.
I only got to use it once, the Satyr army, and now I've got to find a new way to just cause havoc as best I can.
Now you've been arrested.
Yes. I'm currently jailed for being a bad goat, and I don't appreciate it.
And I'll just chew your way out of the bars. It'll be fine.
I wish.
All right, Chris, what about you?
I have no idea. With the stuff we know from Ethereal Embrace, it makes it more interesting, but I genuinely don't have a clue where it's going. Eventually to fight Douche, I assume, but you never know.
It's true. Somebody else could kill him first. Who knows?
Yeah.
Mike, what about you?
Oh, there's lots of irons in the fire there. I mean, yeah, we're going after Duché, and anybody that gets in our way to do that. That's been the story arc from the end of season 1, since we got ambushed in the valley there. That's always been his burning vendetta. And then, of course, with the developments with the events in Gaiden, with the death of his father, the changes to the character that came around, that's going to play a part going forward in season 5 in a big way. And all the tie-ins with Ethereal Embrace and all these conversations with Thorkillen and all the lore that we're picking up from the First People and all the other aspects of trying to learn from what has already happened to deal with what's happening now and going to happen potentially. That's gonna, I think, come to a culmination in season 5, and that's kind of what we're gearing up to see. So it's it's like all of it's like converging there. All the little story arcs are going to converge into one big clusterfuck of excitement.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So, Nico, we all know you're not going to actually tell us anything, but as you watch the events unfold from episode 1 to the end of the Battle of the Bards, what did you see happening that you hadn't really planned for, I guess is a better question for you?
Everything we do.
Yeah. I mean, when we started season 4, we kind of dove in and jumped in with lore, and everybody was like, all right, we're not going to do as many side quests, and we're not going to do as many strange, random-ass things. And then, sure as shit, like...
Little did he know.
We spent the first, 4 episodes with Sir Thadeus walking around on squish feet, so, I mean, there was just nonstop wrenches, and I think the biggest things that happened that I couldn't account for were the scrolls, and how the fools used the scrolls to progress the story was, I thought, super amazing. How, William used it to contact a god and then talk to plants to skitter across, and then Mike's just fizzled out a whole bunch, but he actually learned quite a bit about the Ethereal Beholder. I mean, they all use their scrolls for actual role-playing purposes, not just for, trying to do battle things. So that was really, really good. They went so far with it that I decided at the end of the season to take away all their scrolls and give them to Duché. So.
What are you saying?
No more of that.
Too powerful.
No more toys. No more toys for you.
Shit.
Yeah.
All I heard was no role play in season 5. Just all combat.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
We're fighting everybody.
All right.
Kill them all.
Well, okay, so, Mike, when Malphaedor's father died, that was one of the absolute most serious moments in this season. Actually, I mean, in AFQ as a whole. So how do you feel about that development? I mean, clearly it's got massive implications for Malphaedor. But,
Right.
how do you kind of feel along those lines?
Well, I mean, for the character, it was another one of those life-changing moments in Malphaedor's progression as a character. Just like it would be, for people that, lose someone close to them. It affects them in some way. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes, it will propel them into new directions that they might not have gone, but, life seems to steer you in certain directions sometimes. And I don't know if, and I'm thinking that somebody probably picked this up, but in the Battle of the Bards, the 3 episodes for that, when I introduced Malphaedor's character in the intro, I changed his title a little bit, and that reflects some changes that went on with Malphaedor. He's no longer an Oathbreaker. He's still a fallen Asmar. That's as his race, but as far as a class goes, he is no longer an Oathbreaker. He has a new cause and a new oath and a new devotion. And some of those skills and abilities became revealed in the Battle of the Bards, and that's going to play a big role in season 5 also, because it's just going to keep propelling him forward in his current tasks and quests. And on the side note, I mean, from the family's perspective, I mean, the mother is still there. Malphaedor is theoretically the next in line to assume the mantle within that little family organization. But he had that conversation with his mother and says, look, I got to take care of some business first, and then I'll come back and we'll deal with that. So that kind of got put on pause in order to take care of what in his mind has to be done first. So he'll grieve and all that other stuff at a later date.
Okay, cool. So that's a big thing for him, and obviously he wants to get a lot done before he has to go home and start learning and this, that, and the other.
He took the little weekend trip back home and gave made an appearance and visited the grave and got the story and had the little home moment. But he still has all these other pressing issues that he had to keep pursuing. He couldn't just give it up and take up the family business.
True. Okay. All right, William, we were talking about your little satyr army that you had at the Battle of the Bards. So, was it what you were expected, or were you surprised by how it worked?
I wanted to be an absolute piece of shit and have basically just a line of them, like almost like Civil War style, but it worked out pretty well overall. I was excited to have him storm the stage to try and help out to kill as many members of Duche's army as possible, but turns out the goats couldn't climb the stage as well as I would have liked. Took them a long time, and we might have or might not have forgot about them during the middle of the battle. Oops. A little sidetracked.
Their dissonant whispers ability really helped you guys out.
They did fuck up that dragon. That was helpful. But no, I was really happy with the Satyr army, like just being able to use that bit because it took a ton of setup, and I technically won the Battle of the Bards beforehand. So
True.
Yeah, so they can the villains can get fucked on that. They stole my scroll, but I technically won, and that's all I care about.
That's
you
what's
beat
important.
Francis the Lion.
I got a single win, and that's enough for me.
How many times has Francis won Battle of the Bards?
0 times. 0 times. I do want to point out that I will still kill Shamas. Or in this case, Hesh. That's what I meant. Sorry, I was threatening Shamus' real life. I'm gonna get Hesh for stealing my scroll. I swear to fucking God. His head will be mine. Whether it was on orders or not, fuck it, I'm gonna murder him.
Looking forward to that, actually.
All of my threats stand.
This is the showdown between the Goat Man and the Warlock.
Yeah.
I don't know if Goat Man will get a chance, but somebody's getting a chance to murder Hesh.
Yeah, I try to take a couple pieces out of him.
Polymorph him into a toad.
Oh, that would be funny.
And step on him.
Tiny little toad man.
Put him in a jar.
Make him a firefly if you're going to put him in a jar.
Shake him up.
Yep, exactly.
All
right. I got a toad in a jar. Okay. Anyway, Chris.
Yes.
So, Malphaedor's god deaths are carrying over to everybody else now, it seems.
The gods like me, I'm good.
Yeah, but your god likes me better.
That's
I
true.
paid my debts. We're good.
Yeah, until you need him again. Anyway, how is Thadeus going to deal with these god deaths that are popping up and making his life difficult?
I mean, you can't really plan for them. So you never know when they're going to say, okay, you've had enough time, so fuck you. So you just have to wait and see what happens, see which god he's pissed off this time, and how it's going to affect me. But there's no planning for it. You got to figure it out as we go.
And does anybody have a list of all of Malphaedor's god debts? Because I feel like we still have. Yes. Is he planning to share the list? Beside, Nico's not going to share it.
The list became necessary. It's like,
Chris has one now.
Last time?
Yeah.
Chris had the one with Dionysus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and well, now Wes does too.
Nope, I paid mine.
Yeah, you paid the first one.
He hasn't used the scroll yet.
Yep, I didn't use the scroll in the Battle of the Bards to kill Hesh. I should have, but I did not. There's still an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still technically have one use of the God Scroll left. They didn't steal that. I'm gonna fucking kill him.
And technically, I had nothing to do with the whole thing with Thadeus and Dionysus. That was unbeknownst to either of us.
Yeah, I didn't even know it until a certain point, and all of a sudden, it's like I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know you anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got that flask that I never used.
Yeah, you never have used that flask, have you?
No.
Yeah.
I was going to say, on a related note, we had a question from Kevin, who asked, why do the heroes not listen to the gods with the missions and tasks that they are given to them so very often?
They spit in the eye of God.
I mean, we listen, and then we forget and do whatever
that's
we wanted to do in the first place.
One, we forget. And two, we're assholes, so...
That's true. You guys are assholes.
Whatever.
So, one of the episodes I really enjoyed was the crossover episode, the Dreamlands episode.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys don't remember anything from that, and the fact that it's probably kind of important, how do you think that's going to affect you going forward?
Probably a little bit of psychosis at some point. Well, it gave us a free scroll that I lost. That was great.
Yeah, I mean...
So it's definitely going to affect us in the fact that I gave the villains a scroll from that. It's not a good thing.
I'm of the mind that those events will have more repercussions on the other side of that scenario, like with the things in Adam's campaigns, because like you said, that was a crossover episode. Not only did their world crossover and touch ours, but we have affected things in their timeline, in their universe, and their campaign. So. Stay tuned to Microphones and Monsters. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of... I mean, as far as Malphaedor, he doesn't remember it, so, I mean, whatever comes of it, he's going to be clueless and blindsided like, everybody else will. So I don't really foresee that being a sticky point. I mean, whatever those repercussions may be. Maybe
Nico?
we were just supposed to be there, and that's the way that was supposed to go.
I've been having a lot of fun
He's
collaborating with
not gonna
Adam
say a
on
damn
how
thing.
end game stuff works. Yeah,
You guys are dicks.
it's been a lot of fun,
Dicks.
putting this together with Adam, working on some stuff in the back end, Cthulhu-esque stuff. So, yeah, looking forward to walking you all through that experience.
Oh, this
Final
is gonna
episode
be
of season
fun.
5. We all lose our minds staring at Cthulhu as he devours
Cthulhu
each of
takes
our
over you, Frey.
Cthulhu has each of you in a tentacle, raising you above. Is that it?
There is a thing that can be that will happen towards the end of the season of season 5, the end of the campaign, that will relate to that. So I'm curious if anybody figures it out beforehand, and I'm curious what the feedback will be after I do it. But it will have an impact on both worlds again. So fun stuff.
Interesting. All right. Okay.
Spoiler drop.
Yep. A little bit of one. I like it. I'm here for it. Okay. All right. So we don't have IPA's wonderful presence with us all the time anymore. But do you think he has actually hooked up with Tim and Terry's mom yet?
No, but he's not going to not do it.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
There's still a chance. Still a chance.
IPA's
No,
bucket
Tim and Terry's mom has not been graced by IPA in her bed yet, but it's not off the books.
Yeah. And given some of the NPC scenarios going on, I imagine that we'll be seeing more of her in season 5.
I have a suspicion of that too, and I also have a suspicion that one of her children is going to punch IPA in the face at some point.
Oh, probably.
That is their death. Is that my problem?
Get off my mama!
But that was a question from Kevin. Kevin had some good ones.
Yes. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, I've been reading that list now. Kevin also has a couple where he's kind of a dick, so that's fun.
Well, somebody has to be besides you.
See, a few of these are a tad bit patronizing, Kevin. Bullshit.
Let's see. So this is a question for all of you. How blindsided were you when Am I a Real Questslinger turned into a giant ass blue dragon?
To be fair, the question's in the name. Am I a real? No, they weren't. They're dicks. Turns out not. No was the answer.
Yeah, straight up, we had no clue that was coming.
Yeah. No. I assume everyone's evil, to be fair, but no, did not see that coming. Mostly cats.
But even though we didn't see it coming, I totally could. I mean, it really didn't faze me as far as that goes. After 4 seasons and everything that these 3 have gone through, we're kind of used to expecting the unexpected. We've gone in so many different directions and seen so many weird shit. We're kind of getting used to it. So it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. He's a dragon. All right, let's do this.
Yeah, why not?
I really
Why did it have to be blue? Fuck you. But still,
I really like the thought of having a dragon. You know, I mean, because you hear about or read about it in books or other D&D stuff where a dragon is like a person, right? They're masquerading around as a person. And I just thought, like, if there was a dragon as a person, what would they be doing? They would probably recruit a organization full of people who would go find them magic items that they could hoard. And that's really all the adventuring guild was. They went out and found magic items, fought things, and got magic stuff and brought it back.
That's
to
true.
Am I a Real? Like,
put it in the fucking vault for him.
yeah, here you go. And he had a hoard of magic items now because that's what a smart dragon would do. So he was a fun character to make
For thousands and thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
So on the line of questioning about Am I a Real, Nico,
Mm-hmm.
how satisfying was it to drop the reveal of Am I a Real being of the first people to the parties and for the listeners?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about the first people coming into more to play. I mean, the first people have been around since before I even started session 1 of this entire show. So they've just always kind of been in this world. And over the course of season 4, I've had several people reach out to me with ideas about who they think is another first people. Like after they found out Thor Killen was one of the first people, all of a sudden I've got different random theories coming in. And all of my first people that have been in the show are already listed. So the fact that nobody had guessed Am I a Real being one was very satisfying because several people have been guessed that are not him, or not a first person, but or one of the first people, but Am I a Real was not guessed at all. So I was pretty excited that I was able to drop that and people were shocked. Felt good. Felt really
I know
good.
it shocked me. It shocked the hell out of me. I messaged you immediately after I heard that. I was like, well, excuse me, what?
Yep.
Yeah,
So good.
that was quite the drop. So that's awesome. So do you guys as players have any theories on the first people?
Well, after the little chit chat that we had with Thor Killen, where we got to play 20 questions with him, I mean, it seems like the first people were basically kind of like. It reminded me a lot of the Narnia story situation, where you've got mundane people. This world's getting crazy. They find an escape, and it's like they have their own little world, and that happened to be Euphrae. But on a grander scale, where they actually just did the migration, probably back like in what we would call like our Middle Ages, because he had mentioned that there was a lot of wizards and witches and the persecution of the people not understanding, and everyone just wanted to kill each other. And it's like, that sounds like the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages, whatever. So I mean, sure, yeah, bail out and start their own, make some deals with Greyhawk and change their races and become immortal and do their own thing for thousands of years in their own little playground. Dun, dun,
Anybody
dun.
else? No other theories?
I've
Because
stopped.
we're nodding his head like, I must have hit it kind of close.
I've stopped coming up with theories because I end up just running in a circle, and I'm just enjoying the story as it comes out now.
Yeah, I'm not good at thinking up theories. I just let it go. I kind of like the surprise aspect of it.
This could be why they're not so great at puzzles, Nico.
We don't like thinking outside the box.
I never claimed to be good at puzzles.
Kevin would like to know, how hard was it for the players to know where they are or read a map?
We just asked Nico. Just go, where am I? He lets us know. We're like, cool. Thanks.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
look at
the map
maps.
isn't like complicated. I don't know why
Yeah.
the villains have such a hard time
Yeah,
figuring out where they are.
I know.
Like
Oh, it's-
Nico will tell us, "Oh, you're in this city and it's near this landmark on the eastern side of the map," and we'll find it in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know what. Do they just not look at the map? Maybe.
I must be. I've got the high res map as my backdrop on my laptop. So I'm constantly looking over it and poring over it, and it's like, oh, that's a neat feature I didn't see before. No, that's yeah, we've been there. Oh, this is really, we went that way. Why did we go this way? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So and we're all gamers. I mean, we've been looking and following maps for years.
Yeah.
So I don't see, why it should be less difficult for others, I would think.
And I've written 32 backstories for 32 backup characters, and I've had to come up with homes for all of them, so that's helped me a lot too.
Yes.
I can see
Mostly
that being
just
helpful.
Memorize the places we've been. We don't go a lot of new places as of the last season or two. So we
Yeah,
kind of
we're all right there on the Dairy
We're
Coast and a little bit north.
Mhm.
yeah, we've been to a lot of the same places the last couple times, so it's easy to remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a lot of map that we haven't touched yet. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's
A majority
whole
of the
Western
map we've gotten
Hemisphere.
nowhere near.
I'm concerned about the eyebrow raise I just saw Nico do. Like, as you said that, the eyebrow just inched up.
yeah, well,
So,
as of the final episode, we had touched on a whole nother area of the map that we hadn't been in yet. Of course, then we came back. So
Yeah.
all right.
but we know it's there. We can go back.
That's true. That is true. In fact, aren't you going to be heading to a place on the map you've never been
Okay,
at some
I'm
point?
in jail. Let's not talk
Well,
about the
after
heading.
you're out of... I don't think that's on the map technically anymore.
Yeah, they are supposed to go track down Magno Odd, who is in a place
Yes.
they've never been before. So
Yes.
I don't know if we were supposed to solve a puzzle to find him, but now we know not to go anywhere we've been, so that's good. Tricked him
Yeah.
there.
So Kevin also would like to know, why do the bards both have the worst instruments? What's wrong with a nice harp or flute or even panpipes? I think that one's
Amen.
directed at you.
So the fun fact with that is Kevin's wrong. Suck my flute, Kevin. Dick.
You don't even have a flute. You have a kazoo.
Oh my god.
It's called an innuendo, sir.
I mean, at least with Francis's bagpipes, I can readily find bagpipe pieces to go and coincide with all that. But oh my god, finding decent kazoo stuff.
Just because amateurs can't play it doesn't mean it's not a great instrument. Get good, Kevin. Get out of here.
See what we need to do.
You're making an enemy of me, Kevin, and I don't think it's a wise idea.
I think we need to reach out again to Midnight Syndicate and have them do a whole album
of kazoo music.
Yeah. They revoke our rights to air their music on our
like
show.
immediately.
They're like, you know what?
Email us again.
You know what?
Fuck you
Scrap
guys. I listened to season 3. I couldn't go any farther. This is horrible.
They'll do anything for money.
Yeah, that'd probably take a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't make that much. Maybe not.
Okay, let's see. Nico, was there ever a point in season 4 that you thought you might get close to killing one of them going into an encounter?
I didn't know if they were going to actually use the sword from Mananon McClear against the Ethereal Beholder. And if they didn't use that, then I easily could have seen one of them dying against that Ethereal Beholder. They don't roll
Set him
well
up
enough.
and
To fight something. Yeah. So I think for the heroes, that's the closest they probably would have been done. But then they had to, they blew their entire arsenal pretty much on that guy. You know, they used their god level weapon to kill him and almost didn't even do that the first time. Right. So luckily they were able to
second attack.
Close in the kill. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was concerned with the Beholder battle because that was
concerned for the Beholder.
Yeah, honestly, I
We were
kind of
gonna
thought you
live.
were going to kill Terry in the process, to be totally honest, just because that's how you guys roll. So,
Yeah.
No, it's how Mike rolls. We roll okay.
let's see. All right, so for each of you, what is one aspect of your character that you feel has the most potential, but has been somewhat underwhelming either by your own habits or doings, or just the lack of opportunities to be showcased?
I think I could definitely be much more of a support character, and I never do any support spells, even though I have like a long list of them. I'm a bard. I don't do any like bardic inspiration. I'm fucking terrible at playing a bard. I forget about it constantly. I'll look at it at the end of battles like, oh, I could have given like 7 extra dice, and I just never did it for no reason. Not because I didn't have like extra moves and stuff. I just decided not to and just didn't do it.
I can kind of sympathize that with though, because the last time I played a bard, I gave absolutely no bardic inspiration to anybody. I used it myself. So
I don't even
used
use it
my
for
own
myself
psych-
because I already know that I'm going to roll super high. So I just don't care. Because I've got like all of my attacks and stuff have like plus 12. So I'm just like, I'm fucking fine. I'm going to hit. And I just forget to give myself the die too for no reason. Just because I don't.
Yeah, I had a bonus action that required my bardic inspiration slots, so I used it for myself. So I kind of understand that. I get it. What about Thaddeus?
No, I think with Thad, what you see is what you get. He's grumpy, and will cast Fireball at any opportunity.
How are those sorcerer points working out for you?
What? What are those?
What are they? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, what? I
Is
don't
that
think
DLC?
I've ever heard those.
I don't.
Wild magic's being utilized often, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we finally got him rolling on that chart, but sorcerer points are good.
Sorcerer points, Hunter's Mark. It's all
Yeah.
useless.
So season 5, we'll have to work on Okay, Wild Magic Surge and Sorcerer Points.
Mhm.
I've gone 2 seasons without using them. Why would I start now?
We gotta just start doubling down on them. They gotta roll twice.
Make up for
Because you
lost time.
didn't do it before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
What about Mal?
Oh, I don't know. He's had so much stuff going on. It's, I mean, it's hard to think of anything that he really hasn't touched on as far as his character facets.
He's had a lot of character development and a lot of growth, especially this season. So, I mean, I could definitely see that you don't see anything that's really been underwhelming. I mean, we've seen him at his best and his worst.
About him that's been underutilized. I mean, he's kind of expanded on so many different areas of his whole situation. It's like he's gotten more in touch with his patron for his warlock levels. He's gotten reestablished as far as like his paladin oath. And of course, there's still going to be repercussions for his time as an oathbreaker and leaving that Order of Greyhawk from before. But that that's maybe more uses of his his charisma, like he did with Carlton, where he would be able to do a little more creative talking rather than just swinging his hammer around, because that's kind of his go-to for right now for some reason.
Yeah, I would say as the DM, one thing that I'm a little surprised I haven't seen more out of Malphaedor is him utilizing his connections to the Merchants Guild. So when they've gone into certain areas, they typically go for whoever the judge of the area is, or whoever the Gagme presence, if there is one. And if they and they go to those resources and find stuff out. So, he hasn't really ever used any kind of merchant resources that might be...
I know that those resources are there, but up until recently, he hasn't seen himself as a viable figurehead for his family's merchant activities. He got into Gagme, for a reason, and it wasn't to expand his merchant skills. That was his other life, the one he grew up in. So he's been pursuing other interests and goals. But yeah, I mean, with recent adventure, with everything going on with his loss of his father and reconnecting there, maybe that'll be more of a thing going forward. Definitely.
Okay, well, starting with Nico, who was your favorite NPC of season 4?
Oh man, of
There's so many.
season 4. Yeah, there were a bunch that got loaded in to season 4 for NPCs. But actually the group, the Teflon Knights that you gave me, being able to name them what is it, polyurethane, whatever it's called,
something.
Yeah, the poison,
polypropyl ethyl.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. Yeah.
I had like 6 NPCs and their name turned into that stuff that poisons you on pans, on frying pans.
Yes. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Polytetrafluoroethylene.
Yeah,
Polytetrafluoroethylene. Oh my God, that's such a word. I can't believe you actually were able to turn those each into people. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I thought they were pretty funny, and then being able to put all them, together to make that joke come into play. So those would probably be my favorite new ones of season 4.
Chris, what about you?
Nick stole my answer.
How dare you?
Yeah, rude. Yeah, the Knights were a good touch. Having them all named like that was brilliant. I got a kick 100%. Out of that.
Let's do Mike next.
Well, my favorite was actually not an NPC, but actually a PC portraying an NPC, I thought Tubba was great. he was a fun little ball of crazy. But yeah, that whole society with the little micro society was great. And all the little interactions with that whole that was just a great series of episodes.
Yeah, the gnomes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Francis the Lion would have to go over to an island full of gnomes.
Gnomes.
He can't handle short people.
Yeah.
And they're all children in his eyes.
Yeah. I do find that funny that you like Tubba so much, though. I mean, it was so hit or miss.
Well,
like, I had people message me like, "Oh my God, Tubba's amazing," and then people message me like, "I'm gonna murder Tubba," and Shamas actually like
the
for that
part
happening.
that did it was when he spazzed out in the restaurant, and just the mental picture of this crazy little gnome standing on the table. I fight monsters and running around like a little crazy 7-year-old hopped up on Mountain Dew and pixie sticks. You know, that was just
From
great.
the hot sauce. Yep. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I just envisioned him running around the entire restaurant, just going crazy, just randomly stopping and shaking people whenever he'd go just grabbing hold of it.
And it was such a fun bit of audio work on this end doing that scene because Shamas was moving around his microphone, kind of doing a little Doppler effect with his yelling, which I pushed a whole nother level with some of the panning tools that I have. So he would literally sound like he's way up over here, then run back over here, and he's away, disappears way over there, and he spins back around, and he comes back through, and it was so fun creating that mental picture.
You did really well with that. You did a really good job with the editing. A whole season, actually. Hats off to you. Really good job.
Well, thank you.
And next, do you have a favorite NPC, William?
I guess they didn't really make a big appearance in season 4 at all, but it's probably Romy Goat and Juviet because they helped collect all of my army.
Yeah.
Which I then had my massive army of like 30 satyrs, but big enough to fight a dragon with, and then also try and kill a bunch of bad guys. So they're probably my favorites. So they didn't really have a appearance or big presence in season 4. I think they appeared like very just one time, but
yeah.
But yeah, no, they are pretty cool. I did like them.
You know who did come to life in season 4 that really, he's been around since the beginning but hasn't played a big role? Lactose. I mean, we learned about his art. We learned about his love for drawing murals. And, such a good little guy.
Yeah. Of course, then you get Large Marge and Not Mike.
Oh yeah.
Who?
Without
we actually know his name now.
I refuse to learn his name.
Yep.
So no NPC interludes for you then.
Yeah.
No.
I refuse. I'll not learn the names.
Yeah, I was surprised finding out his name. And I actually asked about it, and what I got back was a screenshot of, see, I swear, it's been his name the entire time.
Like the very first page of all of my notes has his name on there.
Oh,
they just never called him that.
We never asked.
Awesome.
Never even asked him about it.
Don't even
not
care.
Mike.
Well, I mean, we walked in, we're like, are you Mike? I was like, I'm not Mike. That's
That
what
was
we
my
just
father.
called him from that point on. I'm not Mike. Okay, we just figured that was his
Love
name.
Not Mike.
Understood. Not Mike.
We're not here to judge.
I mean,
Aye.
okay, episode 1, we couldn't hardly get in the fucking door. You know, I'm pretty sure his name was just going to be the total clusterfuck for us.
Fair.
That's true. Do any of you have any idea where you think Splinter is now?
Hopefully he's tracking down the villains, and we're going to have Splinter and 4 new turtles
Well,
jump the villains.
Brought an army of Goliaths
Yeah.
that he got. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
an army of Goliaths.
I'm still
That's
very,
that's
very
just a
disappointed.
fun thing to think about.
still very disappointed with how that fight with the turtles came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was a little depressing.
Yeah. You know, it's like it fires up and you're like, yeah, this is going to be amazing. And you're like, really? That's it? Oh.
I mean, it's the same thing you guys did to
Shia
LaTough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hold person and hack him to bits.
Right?
Yeah, but we're the heroes. We can
didn't
do
just
that.
hack him to bits. We had two werewolves, two were-corgis eating him too. So.
Let's see. Okay, so let's start with Malphaedor, because I think this is going to be an interesting answer. Where do you see your character in 5 years?
My character in 5 years. Well, let's see. In 5 years, Malphaedor will be 24. So he might have more hair on his chin. No, it's as quickly as everything has progressed for him. The sky's the limit for what his potential is. I would think. Depending on how things pan out in season 5. I see him getting closer and closer to Duché, and probably taking out his whole deal. Hopefully, becoming more involved and taking a leadership role in his the family business. And the only other really big wild card that I'm concerned about with Malphaedor is the conversation he had with his patron. Zario revealed a lot of insight about a coming war between the old ones and in this realm, which I would imply that would be the infernal forces and whatnot. So I'm thinking that Euphrae is about to become a battleground, possibly. But that's just speculation on my part based on that conversation. Because she made it very clear that she was training me to be, or molding me to be a soldier and warrior for a upcoming battle in this realm. So I'm curious to see how that pans out.
All right.
After that, it's anybody's guess in 5 years. A lot could happen in 5 years.
Fair enough. What about McNastly? Where is he going to be in 5 years?
McNastly, if he's not currently still in jail.
Billboard Top 100.
If he's not in jail or executed for his crimes, depending on what happens here, will most likely be raising a satyr army and attempting to take over some form of region to have a satyr community. So probably evil, to be honest.
I like it.
So he has an army. It's not a good thing. That's not. No one with an army is a good person. There's something bad happening. They're up
Season
to no
7,
good.
we put down McNastly's army.
There's not good things happening. Whatever he's up to is bad.
Patreon bonus. Where are they in 5 years?
Most likely attempting to take over a small northern region of the community. Or of the continent, that is.
And what about Thadeus?
Either dead or just traveling Euphrae, pretty much doing whatever a retired sorcerer wants to do.
So Gandalf.
Basically.
Yeah. I like it. That sounds right.
Recruiting halflings to go do stupid shit.
recruiting a halfling army to fight the satyr army.
God.
That'd be a short fight.
One shot.
Oh,
my
no.
I see a one shot in the future.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I like it. Definitely. Okay, so this is probably the last question, which I think is going to be a fun one to end on. So Mead asked, what was your favorite pun? And he listed off some of his. Some of his favorites were the FFS Better Prize, Father Juicy, and Addie Min.
Father so juicy.
You know, I've listened to that episode like 4 times, and every time I'm just like, oh, no.
It just makes you cringe.
No.
Man of the cloth.
Yeah.
See, even that doesn't sound right.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Nope. So
I think my favorite was from the FFS Better Prize, Juan Fucht Lizard.
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good one.
One fucked lizard. Yeah, that was great.
Anybody else?
Picking a favorite is like picking a favorite kid. They're all they're all terrible.
I just pick all the puns I made because mine top tier. Most of them cut from the actual episodes. I want to point out, but you don't appreciate.
Thank God.
But the ones that made it, people know why they're good.
I think my favorite pun, or one of my favorites that comes to mind, was Nyan Flea Fest, because it was a 2-parter there. He was a Nyan Tabaxi cat, and then Ryan Seacrest hosting the Battle of the Bards. It was, I felt pretty good about that one.
It took me a little bit to get the Nyan part.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I got it, I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. and I loved it even more. So
well, in Flea Fest, so technically it's 3 puns because the Flea Fest is a
another
flea joke.
Cat joke.
3 puns.
Yeah. Just well-rounded. Well-rounded.
More
joke.
reasons for you to go fuck yourself.
So many layers.
It was an incredible season. A lot of things happened. I mean, I think the last thing that happened was Duché had managed to put the book together. I mean, that just seems like a weapon of mass destruction in the hands of a madman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm personally really looking forward to how this plays out. I'm looking forward to seeing how closing the portals is going to happen, if it happens, since Duché is in charge of magic now. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the first people are really capable of, because, I mean, this is a place they built. We learned that this is a place that they built, they made. And I don't think they're going to want to see somebody just come in and rip it apart even more than has already happened in certain areas. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see some major character growth too from anyone who manages to survive long enough to make it to whatever the epic battle is going to be. Yes, that's directed at you because you keep saying you're going to die.
I will say, at the same episode that you were speaking of where Duché reassembles the book, at the end of that episode, there's a replay of something that we aired in the NPC interludes, which is an appearance of a fan favorite that I am very curious as to how that's going to come into play in season 5.
Same. I am very excited to see how that's going to play out and how they're going to encounter this character again and how it's going to set back the ones who knew the character. So I'm very interested because, I mean, I don't know. For me, it would throw me for a hell of a loop, and I wouldn't believe it at first. So I'm very excited to see how this is going to work out.
I'm not only excited to see how that plays out in-game, I'm also excited to, when we get around to airing those episodes, seeing what kind of feedback we get from the fans and our listeners. I mean,
the Discord's going to go crazy. You realize that, right? Like, we're going to be able to hear the screaming without VC needed.
I just can't wait for the first episode of season 5. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
Yep, good stuff.
Jealous of
This
all
is the
of
most
you.
excited I've been for an episode of season 5's first episode.
That's what I
Me
like
too.
to hear. I think.
we're excited about being in jail.
Yeah, the first 4 seasons were fun and all, but now just this first episode, I'm very excited for.
Game on, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's a lot that's going to be happening, and I, as a listener, cannot wait to hear all of it. I mean, it's going to be great.
Awesome.
Anybody got anything to add?
No, I mean, season 5 is the last season of this campaign, and then we've got a bunch of other stuff lined up that I'm really excited for about it. We do have a campaign 2 that's gonna start. That will come out right after this campaign 1 ends. So there will be plenty of more content, but I'm excited to go through the next season and wrap up what has been a very long and amazing adventure. I mean, we're like 2.5 years in on this adventure as a team, and I'm really excited about what's to come in the next season. And yeah,
it's been a wild ride.
That's it for me.
Terry's mom.
Wild ride.
Dirty dad joke, yes.
Is that where we end this interview? Is that how this goes?
I think that is the perfect ending.
We'll call
for
it
this
from
interview.
there.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Nari, for hosting the Meet the Heroes. Maybe we'll do something extra fun and have you voice an upcoming NPC that might be detrimental to the story at some point that we probably all already know about, so it's fine. But
Super excited about that.
yeah, everyone, make sure to go check out Into the Night Anthology. Make sure to put the anthology at the end. It's a bunch of short stories. They're all like 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, and they're amazing. And you get to listen to Nari's beautiful voice for a few hours. So go check it out.
So sweet.
And I think that's it for us. So I'll see you guys next week when we meet the villains after season 4 with another special guest.
Yay!
Gross.
Yay. All right.
Hey,
Bye.
I like them all. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Thanks everybody for listening. You guys are awesome.